September 4th, 2025, Lenawee County Board of Commissioners Accounts Payable Committee meeting. So I would call the meeting to order and ask for approval of the minutes of August 7th, 2025.
I move that we approve the minutes of August 7th, 2025.
And I will support that. And just for everyone's information, Commissioner Martis is, I think, on an airplane flying home right now from Europe. So him and I will be, the administrator and I will be covering today. So I have a motion and support. Are there any additions or corrections? All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Review and approve the accounts payable vouchers. I got a few questions. So on page page 1 down at the bottom, airport county, that isn't, it just seemed funny that the two delivery amounts were exactly the same. $5,775.60. They weren't duplicated, were they? This is, oh, I'm the 20 wrong, sorry. So I should have said that.
Yes, I believe this is going to be for more of a standardized delivery. I believe they're for a specific type of fuel that that aren't not your general fuel. I will have to reach out to the airport to get you an exact reason that is, but they are different invoices.
I noticed that, but they were the exact same amount. I thought it was kind of strange that, well, maybe we ordered just the same amount of gallons or something. Okay, just a question I wanted to make sure it just wasn't a duplication. On the next page, under building and grounds, what is a ASSAAD LOO annual contract?
Assa Abloy is a company we contract with to make sure that all of our entryways are up to code and properly maintained. Ensure for
all the
different requirements such as handicap access, as well as making sure that they are functioning properly.
You know, we're meeting all the time.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I guess that makes sense because then it goes on to talk about the sheriffs and the old courthouse. Okay. Did we pass? I guess we did, right?
I believe so.
If I got him. Page 10. Up at the top, ProMedica Health Systems for medical, $8,317.
Yes. Unfortunately, an individual that was located at the Morris Spear campus was sent to the emergency room, and we basically are paying that medical bill.
Oh, serious, huh? Do you know?
Yes, it was rather serious. The juvenile had actually left without permission from your campus and made some very questionable decisions that required an emergency visit. And unfortunately, when a juvenile is detained for so long, their Medicaid stops, and so the county has to, and we pick up those costs.
Expensive venture. Okay. On page 11, Matson and Matson LLC drivers training for $900.
Yes, this is also for justice-involved youth. We have both incentives as well as education to ensure that we are keeping Justice Involved Youth at the Maurice Spear campus or wherever that they are keeping up with standard education
Okay.
as well as incentives for Justice Involved Youth to continue.
Is that for residents? Or for employees?
I would have to double check with, I would definitely not.
And
No, that actually is for justice involved youth within the probate and juvenile court. And that's an incentive, essentially to the child care fund, so it's 75% reimbursable as well. And essentially the incentive is to get children who otherwise would not, or youth otherwise would not, gain, driver's training and their license, to have them utilize or get those skill sets and then get that license so that they're employable. And then they can obviously do much more educationally and, career-wise with having that license.
Good, thank you. And then just down on printing and purchasing, kind of a UPS weekly shipping summary. That's probably actually shipping charges, not just a summary, right? Because, I mean, it's like $59 and $33.
Yes, yes, this is a summary of the shipping costs we have, which is all the invoice. The invoice is the summary.
So it's the actual thing.
But yes, it is the payment for shipping.
I was hoping we weren't just. And then this one really, so the 800 megahertz under sheriff's department on 13, we pay $250,000 for that? One one six eight seven.
I believe this is our, yes, we pay basically for lease of that frequency.
Is that annual?
Yes, this is an annual cost.
There are two more payments left.
Oh, we're catching up. This is when we joined in and we had there was a big number and then we're paying on
It's a
making,
10-year lease. Yep.
gotcha. So what happens at the end of the 10 years?
So this is the one, I think, where we will have to take a look at what does happen at the end of that 10 years. This is the MDTs, is that what we were looking at?
Motorola Solutions Credit Company?
Yeah, that means that, so there was this is the one where we had the towers that were built, we had all the radios that were built, we had the big program. And this is actually coming out of the 911 funds, is this the payment? So this is the payment to pay back the loan that we had in order to build those two towers and all that equipment. So that just means that the loan will be paid off.
Okay.
If that's where if that's Dan, if that's this one that we're talking about here.
And then there'll probably still be a service agreement with the MSP, right?
And then we will have to figure out what does it look like after that. And I don't know that 911 has started having those discussions yet or not.
Good. Is out of 911 money.
Mhm.
On the sheriff's department on page 14, a portable toilet for Round Lake.
I believe this is going to be for the shooting range that they have lavatory. I would have to double check with the sheriff. It also may possibly be associated with sheriff presence during 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
I will have to get
Okay.
exact details from the sheriff.
And then the treasurer's office on service through July, the first items there, Clark Hill PLC. What service is that for? Page 14 at the bottom.
I believe they provide legal services regarding the land bank. I have to double check that. will take me a moment to get that pulled up if you would like to.
Okay, and that's the end for this report. I'll go to the next one.
Does appear that those are legal services. So I believe it could be regarding contracts, regarding those lands. I'm not certain. I would have to reach out to the treasurer to get the exact information.
So the treasurer's office enters all of the land bank cost, obviously being the treasurer is the chair of the land bank. This is a law firm that they are utilizing. There's some quiet titles that need to take place with the properties that go into the land bank. And then as they sell properties, there's the closing and such. So they have been moving some properties. So you're seeing some of the law firm bills reflected in that.
So this is for a specific type of legal counsel, because I know when we had that little riff with the city of Adrian that we used our corporate attorney. So these bills are specifically for like title.
This is specifically for the general work that is done with the land bank. I think in the title work that they have, that they're doing, the closings, the quiet title, that sort of thing. And it's a firm that they have secured for quite a while. Yeah, we have moved some things onto our corporation council, but I think that that's what you're seeing here.
Okay, very good. Okay, that's the end of that run. For 826, I have very few here also. Bear with me. On the building and grounds, Ramsdale insurance claim for $5,900. What happened there?
There was a rather large storm and it actually caused 2 trees to fall at Ramsdale Park. One, I believe, landed on the pavilion and another landed on a garage.
I think Deputy Elliott handled that insurance claim. I don't know if you want to talk about that and how much was reimbursed back from MMRMA.
Actually, Paul is correct. A large tree fell on the garage or lean-to, pretty much destroying it. It was rebuilt. Unfortunately for Tim Meehan, our prior superintendent, he had a brand new vehicle and that.
Really?
as well, yes. However, we were reimbursed less our $1,000 deductible.
Wow. Poor Tim. On page 5, there was who's the what department? This is the health department. Oh, I don't know if we know about health department. Advertising, publishing marijuana, $1,181.
This is for public awareness of marijuana safety, such as
And just as a reminder, as we get talking about state and federal budgets and programs that may or may not be funded as the state finalizes their budget, a lot of these types of activities are funded through grants that come through the state, and some of those could potentially be in jeopardy as we go forward. So these are not general fund expenditures. These are funded through the coordinated grant.
Has anybody been here for shutdown before? Of course, the last shutdowns of all of the state have been very minor, right? Like,
Yeah, very, very little, which really had no impact. This one has a tendency to potentially last much longer.
and maybe we don't know, but then normally when they do get back up and running, do they backdate that and reimburse the expenses in between the shutdown and the start back up?
So they haven't told us one way or the other what they are going to do, because I think they're very caught up in trying to get the 3 various budgets kind of coerced into one so they can agree and approve it. However, we have been asked to put together a list of how a long-term shutdown could impact us. And so so we are assuming though that once the state gets back up and running with whatever budget is proposed, back funding would happen as of October 1 for those things that are included in the budget. So if we are continuing with a program though that does not get funded in the budget, then we will not get reimbursement for the expenditures that we have incurred. So we are at a loss right now. We're budgeting with what we know. And we are hoping that the state will be able, the legislators will, and the governor will be able to come together on a budget that does not harm the counties. But right now we have some true concern that some of the decisions and some of the conversations that we're hearing about will end up impacting the counties financially in a negative way, thereby impacting some of the services and programs that we are able to provide our citizens.
Fortunate. Right. Well, time will tell, yes. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So, this is under prosecuting attorney. Just a point of information for me. I mean, all of a sudden we had a whole slew of civil processes. That just happened in timing, or were we getting caught up, or there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've never seen that many civil processes.
So there is the potential that many people needed to be subpoenaed for one case.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, okay.
is
Yeah, so typically that'll happen through the prosecutor's office. If the prosecutor has a case coming up, they will utilize civil process servers, and oftentimes that ends up being the sheriff's office. So that's where you're seeing some of that.
Under the sheriff's budget on page 7, we had some pretty healthy bills for the Tahoes, for the 23 Tahoe and the 19 Tahoe.
yes, unfortunately, it's the time of year that deer are out, and because the sheriff has very many vehicles that are always on the road,
We
They-
eliminated some of the deer
they
population.
are at a very high risk for that type of thing. This is, however, anomalous, but because of the higher risk, it is not completely unexpected.
And you will see more of those as we're going through some of the future AP batches, as we just had another vehicle sustain a tremendous amount of damage due to they were in the middle of a higher speed and lights and sirens, and came across a deer and caused a lot of damage to the vehicle. So that is happening right now as the deer are beginning to move, and we anticipate that continuing to happen probably into hunting season.
Well, the rut's starting, so
Mhm.
it ends around the end of November, so,
Mhm.
or shortly before. Okay, those are all my questions, so. I understand why the insurance companies like deer licenses sold, so. Any other questions on accounts payable and edit listing from anybody? Hearing none, a motion would be in order to pay the vouchers,
I move that we pay the accounts payable vouchers as presented.
and I'll support that. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes, opposed, no. Accounts payable vouchers will be paid. Other business to be brought before the commission, Administrator Murphy.
One of the next meetings that we have for accounts payable will be held on October 2nd currently. As you recall, we did move all of the other committee meetings that were scheduled on that day due to the fact that there's a MAC conference and I know administrative people as well as commissioners may be attending MAC. So I was wondering if the accounts payable committee wanted to move their meeting as we have done the other committee meetings.
I think we should, don't you?
I think so, unless you want to appoint different people to the committee for that day.
He might not be familiar with the routine. I could appoint Terry, but he's going.
Yeah, Terry's going,
Right.
so, yeah, so if it's okay, we would like to move the October meeting.
Do we need a motion for that?
We don't necessarily need a motion. If we can agree, we can make the adjustment in the schedule and get it posted. We just need to be able to post the new date and time.
Good, so we'll change it.
Okay,
Very good.
perfect.
Any other business to be brought before the accounts payable? Any public comment? Motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Have a motion to adjourn, and I'll second that. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes, opposed?